Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Ehad. Of course, I inserted the name of our Creator, Yahuwah, instead of Adonai, because we are His children. And how do we know that we are His children? Because we are to walk in His ways. How do we know what His ways are? That is the question. How do you know if you're walking in His character and His function? Do you kind of view God as belligerent, arrogant, argumentative? No. He's standing. He stands. Like some people say, stand on your square. Be firm. Have a firm foundation. Know who you are. He knows who He is. Do we know who we are? If we're acting out of sorts, if we're acting in a way that's not in alignment with our Creator's character, then that gives us an indication that we're missing the mark. We're not standing on a square. We're not standing firm. We're stepping outside of the bounds. So some people, they celebrate from Friday night to Saturday night, the Sabbath. Some people celebrate the Sabbath as in the daytime, from the morning to the evening. With our calendar the way it is, because of the Greco-Roman takeover and how the original Hebrew calendar was changed throughout the years. What is it? Are you whining? Are you singing? You want to sing a song? You singing? You whining? We are to cry out to our Creator. When we don't know what to do, and we've tried everything, we've listened to these people, we've listened to those people, we've read this, we've understood that. Could we be misunderstanding things? Could we be misreading things? Could we be construing things in a way that's not right? There is this thing called the law of first mention, and when it's written down the first time, that's the correct way that we should follow it. So in the Old Testament, there are old books and even apocryphal books that are not even in the Bible from a long time ago, the ancient ways and the ancient paths. So if we decide to read some of those books, like the Book of Maccabees or Jeremiah or Jubilees or the Book of Wisdom, what's the Book of Wisdom? It's not in the regular book, the Bible. So we have to search and seek those books if we want to know wisdom and knowledge, so that we can apply it in our lives. So have some of us discovered that we just can't do whatever it is that we want, because sometimes we can't always do whatever it is that we want. Hey, Equitas, I love you. So glad to see you here. I'm kind of going over about our character and our function needs to be in alignment with the Creator. Just like you have that picture there about the mind. That's awesome. It looks like a tree. Very cool. I like that. And so we want to check ourselves to see if we're in the house, in the Father's house, or are we outside the Father's house? Are we just doing whatever it is that we want because we've been told that you could do whatever you want? But that is another doctrine or another way. You know, there's a Luciferian creed that says, do what thou wilt. That is the whole of the law, meaning you could do whatever it is that you want. Okay. Some people do. Some people choose to do whatever it is that they want versus following the way, the truth, and the life. And our Creator has a plan for us. He says, I have good plans for you and not for evil. A plans to prosper you and to give you hope. But if we're stepping outside of the Father's house and stepping outside of his character and function, we can talk to we're blue in the face, and we're probably not going to get the answers that we're looking for if we're blaspheming the Father's name. What does that mean? That doesn't mean things like when people say, gee, damn it, and stuff like that, because we know that God is a title. No, name in the Hebrew means character and function. So we need to examine ourselves. And it's good to take a day during the week to just breathe. Inhale and exhale. Take a chill pill. Examine what's going on in our lives. Sometimes, in order for us to sit still, everything else around us needs to look good or be put in its place, and that helps. So if you find that you're that type of person like myself, I can't just sit still when everything looks chaotic around me. I can't just sit and eat something when there's a mess everywhere. So you start with the one thing at a time that you can. If you have to do the dishes, you do those. If you can't get to them, you can cover them up with a towel until you can get to them. You know, your kitchen table might look really cluttery because in between learning about the Stamp Act or sending off bills or presentments, statements, you might have a little section of your table that you use your stamp, and then you have to eat, and then you have to store your food. So there's different things that you use your table for. Some people are very disciplined with that. They just use it for eating, and that's it. And they keep it nice and clean. It's getting warm because I got my heater on and the jacket on because it's a cold winter night tonight. What is it, December the 7th? Yeah. And darn it, I forgot to pay a bill. I'm going to need to get on that. So sometimes we find that we're getting overwhelmed with so many different instructions, different ideas, different classes, different books, and we lack the self-discipline to do our things on time. Then there's consequences. So we have to make sure that we stay on top of our priorities. We have to make sure when it's the beginning of the month, set those things aside to make sure that those things get put out. Sometimes we might have to write ourselves a note or keep a ledger or a book, you know, like a notepad, and just put down the things that, you know, that you have to do next. It's not always easy to be organized, but it sure does help a lot to organize yourself. So sometimes I get phone calls, and maybe you do too, where somebody is just got so many things going on, they don't know which way is up. They feel like they're in the chaotic sea and just don't even know, what do I do next? This happened and that happened, this, that, and then they get very overwhelmed. And it's kind of almost like when you are drowning in the ocean and someone's coming to save you, like a lifeguard, and then you pull those people down. We have to make sure that we, even though we might have a lot of irons in the fire and a lot of different things, or, you know, testing a lot of different waters, we have to make sure that we can swim before we start jumping in the pool. Or sometimes we jump in the pool and there's no water in there. Ouch, that hurts. Ow, penalty. late fee, ouch, ooh, bad check on your credit report. So all these little examples, I just think about it's life. And in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, I believe, talks about when you're walking in the way with your child, teach them my word. Teach them as you're walking. Teach them as you're sitting down at the dinner table. Teach them as you're, traveling. Teach your children well. There's a song about that. Teach your children well. Their father's hell will surely go by. Or maybe it's parents. Parents. Anyways, I thought I would mention these things just so that people cannot get so caught up with all the busyness that the world is doing and all the distractions, and kind of center yourself. Get focused. Get in your little prayer closet. Get in your room. Just shut the blinds and the distractions out as much as you can. It's always going to be somebody that has their radio loud and you can hear the bass, of course, or somebody yelling and screaming out there, or a dog barking, or coyotes, or a train going by. But do the best that you can to protect yourself. Guard your ears, your eyes, even your mouth, and your thoughts, especially, and your heart. And just like you protect your clothes with weather appropriate clothing, you want to protect yourself as well, your soul. So there's some things that I've been trying out. I've been listening to some different ones talk about equity, talking about, it seems almost kind of like going back to trust issues and the trust. So I wrote a little something, and I don't know if I can share it properly, but I want you guys to judge this for me, because I want to be able to, I want to walk in the right way, of course. Let me see. I wonder if I could just do this command paste. No? No. Rats. I don't really know how to do this. I've never tried this whiteboard thing before. Let me see. Command paste. Hey, there's my Zoom link. Let me see. How do you delete that? I guess you just push delete. No, you don't. Yeah, just push clear. Clear all drawings. Okay. So hang on a second. I want to grab this. Just a minute. Right. I'm just learning about this whiteboard thing. I just wanted to see if I could learn it. Let's see. Text. Come on, baby. Format. Is there something going on here? Okay. Command V. I grabbed something from an email and I'm seeing if I can put it on here, but I guess I didn't do it right. Darn it. I would have liked to have it already set up on my email or whatever. But on this particular computer, they don't have any, let me see. I gotta look for something. Hang on a second. I thought I would try to do this. Let me see. Stamp, spotlight, eraser, format. No. Let me see if I could just put it on. Boop. Nope, didn't happen. Select. Command. Nope, didn't happen. I'm going to learn how to use this eventually. All right, I'm going to try it again. So what I did I really want to try this whiteboard. I'll try it one more time, but I don't know if it's going to work. Is this like for drawing? Yeah, cool. Wee, fun. I'm such an artiste. All right, we're going to clear that. Clear my drawings. So it looks like it's for drawing. Let me see. Here's the text. Let me try this again. Nope, that didn't work. All right, let me see if I could drag this over here. Let me see. No, didn't work. All right. All right, this is what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to open this up. Okay, there that is. Now, I got to share the screen so you can see it. So, I guess you can laugh if you want, but when I was on a Zoom call, I was listening to some equity people, Eric especially, and they were talking about I don't know. This is maybe what I understood, that we're supposed to take a look at ourselves and make a change, looking at the man in the mirror. But actually, they were talking about how everything is in trust and that everything is coming from the Father, the Creator, and how all the ones in authority are supposed to be doing the Father's will. So we're going to go with that, okay? I mean, personally, I'm not exactly certain that that's the case, and I think a lot of people have gotten in there, but if they believe it and they find that the Father, the Creator, is their higher accountability, then we're going to roll with that, okay? We're going to roll with that. So it does sound a little bit religious. If you're not religious or you don't know any of this particular prayer, like the Lord's Prayer, we're just going to roll with it, okay? We're just going to roll with this for right now. And I really want you to think about the content. So, when I had them do an audit on my car for a certain particular bank, this is what I wrote them. It sounds a little silly, I think, because it's not businesslike. But I mean, I was pulling all the stops that I could because of the fact that I was trying to go with equity. Hey, Carrie, nice to meet you. Some people will come in and out, and it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just keep reading. So it says, greetings. I have received mail. This is me now. Hey, Dan Wong. That's cute. I'm reading, Dan Wong, I'm reading a letter that I recently wrote when we did an audit on a car, an auto loan, an alleged auto loan. So I'm going to go ahead and read it so that everybody can kind of see where I'm going with this. Okay. So we're just going to roll with this. It sounds very religious because we're trying to bypass the codes and the statutes. We're trying to go for trust law and trying to get equity. And this is, in my understanding of what I've recently heard, that we're trying to go with equity. That's what we really want. So I'm going to go ahead and read the letter that I wrote. And I want everybody to be able to judge this. Please write your comments in the comment section after when I post this, because, you know, I don't want to be wrong, of course. I want to do the right thing and I want to get relief. Some people say the word remedy means you have to go to court to get remedy. So we want to bypass those courts. We want to just go and get the relief. So this is the type of letter that I've been advised, at least what I thought I heard them saying, that we're going to roll with this. Okay, so listen to this. You might laugh and chuckle a little bit, but I want you to think about it. Greetings. I have received mail from Enterprise Complaints Management Office regarding the alleged auto loan. Mind you, this is me writing this letter and sending it to the trustee, to them. So I'm letting them know that I received mail from Enterprise Complaints Management Office regarding the alleged, and I said that word alleged, because I want them to prove that they sent me an auto loan or that they gave me a loan for a car a long time ago. So it says, this is how it starts. And I'm kind of giving them a peek of my prayer for relief. Our Father, I'm acknowledging that there is a higher creator than them, okay? They started this trust that I didn't know it was a trust, but there is one who's greater that has the biggest trust there. So it says, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. And yeah, I did forget the other part, ever, forever and ever. Let me move my little face here, okay? So be it. Instead of amen, I said so be it. So when you break that down, that prayer, by the way, is not my original prayer, but this was the Lord's Prayer, obviously from the Bible. So our Father, who is in heaven, he is the highest one, right? He's the one that gives us our unalienable rights up there. So we're establishing that there is one greater than us. And we're saying, hallowed be thy name. Now, name in the Hebrew means character and function. Character and function. How are we coming in this letter? How are we presenting ourselves in this letter? We're saying, hallowed be thy name, because we want to come in his name, all right? In his character and in his function. And his ways are grace, love, kindness, gentleness. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. So let's see if this is happening, okay? So when you get down to it, says, I'm introducing myself, first of all, to let him know I am his disciple, not the car dealer guy, or not the complaints management office. I'm saying I am the Father's disciple and missionary, because what's our mission? To do his will on earth as it is in heaven. I trust and I pray that I shall be delivered and have relief as I share my prayer with the trustee here. Here are my thoughts as well. So I did put in my thoughts as well. This is a letter. Once again, for those of you just tuning in, this is a letter that I wrote as a response after the CFPB, that's the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, did an audit with my paperwork for a car that I bought way a long time ago. So this is my rebuttal to them. Although, yes, it does appear prima facie evidence as a contract from First Kia. And I signed it on November 30th, 2008 for the purchase of the 2008 Kia Rondo. The amount shown was $12,999. But I also had put a down payment of a trade-in car that also had prior chattel paper of a security interest on it, as well as bonds that were hidden from me, and the title was also with that car. According to consumer law in Title 15, I believe it to be around 1692 or thereof, it states that when doing a credit transaction, no down payment and a credit transaction can be done together. When doing a credit transaction, what I thought was a purchase using credit, it's either one, cash, or the other, credit, but not both, as the finance charges are to be the total amount of the purchase. And as I stated many times before, I did also put a down payment thinking I was purchasing something creatively. I don't know, but the dealerships always ask if we have a down payment. Nunc pro tunc. Now as if then. I made a mistake and I rescind all contracts because these illusionary deceptive forms that I signed were fraudulent. So in the way of equity, this particular paragraph might be incorrect because I'm noticing I did put the consumer law, Title 15, 1692. I did use something about illusionary deceptive forms that I signed that were fraudulent. I mean, when you're doing the Lord's Prayer and coming in that way, it's not like you're listing all the bad things that they did. You're just saying, I'm going to forgive those who trespass against me. But I wasn't sure if I should just make it like a spiritual thing or if I needed to put this here. I mean, this right here, this little paragraph right there, possibly could have blown it for me, but I'm not exactly certain if by using equity that we're doing it without being in a court setting or like in chambers, you know. It's possible that when I was listening to the different ones talking about equity, they could have possibly been talking about judges' chambers and not so much about writing a letter to, you know, an audit company or CFPB or anything like that. So that's the thing about when we listen to people on Zoom or we just tune in, you have to make sure that we're doing it the proper way, you know, instead of just taking a little bit here and a little bit there and throwing the pasta against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Right, Karma? What? You barking at your little toys? Good girl. So we could be mixing the seed here. This could be a mixture right here, you know? So I might not get the relief. I might not get a response at all. They might have laughed at my letter for all I know. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and keep reading because I want to see. I want you guys to pick out the things that you would take out and put in what you think you would. So let's see what we got here. Hey, Dan Wong, how you doing? Are you getting a good connection there? You able to hear anything? Gonna be quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading this. Okay, so this is what I had told them. I'm also aware of a security agreement or bonds being made on the negotiable instruments that would be called the so-called alleged contract. Without me knowing about this bifurcation, that's like a tree separating in two, you know, it used to be one, or a road, and it's going like a fork in the road. So, you know, we're thinking that we're signing a contract, playing checkers here, and they're playing chess. Looks like the same kind of board, black and white. So we're playing a game and they're playing a game and their game is different and theirs is a little bit more tricky, you know. I'm aware that they did a security agreement or bonds made on that negotiable instrument, which is the contract, that application that I was signing. Anyways, I didn't know about it at the time, but nunc pro tunc, that's the thing right there. Nunc pro tunc, now as if then. So we're bringing it up now. Additionally, the car that I believe to be purchasing for my home usage and not for hire, that was recategorized as a motor vehicle and subject now to the motor vehicle code in its transition of its new name, was also registered to the state by the dealership as if a favor was being done for me. You know, they say like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it all. We're going to do the paperwork for you. And then, you know, go ahead and drive the car off. Go ahead. Which, by the way, I did see a new commercial. While I was getting my pizza, there was a TV and they showed a VW commercial and it said everything 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 down. Right. Because, you know, we're going with the credit thing. And you know, it's not right to do credit and cash or money down or whatever. And then they're like 0 interest, 0 fees, just sign your signature and drive off the car. And I'm like, whoa, could this be from that new thing that they're doing, the FTC, how they made everybody, all the banks have to pay the people any interest that was on their negotiable instruments. They had to pay them a little bit. That's how I'm starting up with this stuff because I got a $5 check for this car. Anyways, so what I believed had transpired was a quasi-contract, or that I, the living woman, was attached to the legal entity of my all-capitalized employee name, and that the state, possibly in trusteeship or quiet title, owns that name, or it was gifted by mistake. That's the word. Nescience. You know, when you're ignorant, you don't know. As I never converted my name into a doing business as magical font, nor am I the social security number, nor the all capitalized name on that state government card. The state, as it also owns the social security number, and that doesn't belong to me, but was assigned as if it belonged to me, has my name as all capitalized, and I do not write nor spell my name in that legal entity manner. So it's possible that me bringing up these little things here, poking at this and that, poking in the cake, might be making more holes that possibly I'm not passing the test because maybe I'm not coming like that prayer up there on the top. You know, forgive us our debts. I was ignorant. As we forgive those who trespass against us, you guys trespassed against me because you slipped in these deceptive, fraudulent forms. And it says, lead us not into temptation. Hey, I could sue you. I didn't say that there, but I'm just saying. It says, but deliver us from evil. So that's what we're focusing on, is that prayer up there. But as I'm reading this, in a way, I am kind of bringing up my, you know, what you think, you know, you understand that? Yeah, you get it? She wants to go outside. Okay, so by me entering into the dealership thinking that I was using my credit by purchasing for my own private home goods, the entrapment, ooh, that could be a harsh word right there, happened aboard the front business. Oh, I just slapped him in the face. Boom, boom, boom. Metaphorically, what I could describe as possibly being a pirate ship on Admiralty Maritime Waters. Now, I didn't have to put that in there. Come on. That's a low blow right there. That's insulting them. But I'm just saying, what happened to the name, you know? And hey, they're doing all this registration and taking my stuff. I'm just saying. When the dealer tied me, the living woman, to the social security number, and also had me sign a contract in my proper manner of cursive writing, which, you know, we all write our name properly like that. Me signing an unqualifying signature from the look of it, meaning it's open-ended, like, go for it, take my name, I'm going to let you use it without, you know, putting without recourse or without prejudice or all rights reserved, or UCC 1-308. So in my nescience, meaning my ignorance, as I did not even have the capacity for it to be a legal sale. Oh, because I didn't have full disclosure, right? But instead, I was bamboozled. And don't you know, you better know that when you go into those places, you will be bamboozled big time. They'll be like putting a bag over your head and knocking your head silly for hours and hours with all this information, and sign this form and sign here and sign there, boom, 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 boom. And you be like comatose. Okay, get me the hell out of here. Okay. That's 7 hours later, you have a car and you just been bamboozled, and they just ran off with your name, did a whole bunch of things. But imagine my shock when I recently discovered all that. What I explained here. Yeah. What? Did I unknowingly gift the usage of my name for usufruct? The use of the fruit? With the illusion that I actually owned something? But I became the liable party instead of the beneficiary of the trust set in place. The Securities Act of 1934, House Joint Resolution 192. I'm bringing up these things now. I don't know if I'm doing equity, bringing these things up here. I don't know. Public Law 7310, and in 1300s, the Pope made it illegal to use legal names, the all caps name. And then the securitization, all unbeknownst to me, without my permission or full knowledge to be able to make a wise decision. I was letting them know how I was raped royal big time. I did not get full disclosure, but everyone was sure nice to me. Bend over while we rape and pillage you for years. And I did put it in there. Yeah. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but I don't know. They might not really understand. This is not a very professional letter. So here's where I wrote something else that could have messed with any type of relief or equity. I said, this is the identity fraud or the theft that my name got converted into a doing business as or a legal name as shown on statements, also known as bills. They were also the same as in every commercial for-profit commerce transaction. But I wasn't engaged in commerce making a profit, but you were. I was merely thinking that I was purchasing something for my own private home goods, and this has caused me much harm, as it caused me to have purchased commercial insurance, DMV fees, become an unpaid driver for some membership association that I assumed was government, be subjected to jurisdictions that were never my intent, etc. I wanted a car for my own home goods, not for hire, not as an agent of the state. Feel me? Such a professional letter. Based on my research that shows me that the VIN, that's the vehicle identification number, and the customer number, you know, that loan number there, the alleged loan, are showing up on Treasury Direct as bonds made as a security interest. And I had fully paid for the entire car and a down payment and interest, and there are still other forms of investment still showing. I claim all of that. That is my claim, based on seeing that this all being in trust and not what I thought was a purchase after all that. It's like going into a church thinking that you're going to learn about spiritual things, but instead you learn about a tradition to light a candle, pay money to light that candle, and then go chop down a tree and drag it into your house and start celebrating something that they told you to do. But that is not the truth. It's deception and defraudment. I don't know if that's a word. Defraudment? I don't know. Thank you for reading my prayer, my thoughts, my research and investigation. And I pray that you will deliberate, I don't know if that's the right word, relief for me that is equitable and timely. And then I ended it with, in his holy, set apart service for redemption. I don't exactly know if that is even proper. I mean, that's probably the most mixture of mixed something. Could have had commercial code and everything else, religious stuff, the law, all that other kind of stuff. But I would like for you to please critique that letter, and in the comments down below, write what you would have written on every part of the part that's wrong. And let's see if we can help each other to write these letters or notices so that we can get the relief that we're looking for. Maybe I should have wrote more, like, I'd like you to pay for the whole entire car and I'd like all my money back. But let me know, what is the statement that we need to say, that we need to make a claim for to get relief? You have a good night, and I'm thankful that I was able to share that with you in the time limit that I have. Have a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share.